Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's about 1 o'clock, and I was just meeting with that gentleman walking away. Costa, really nice guy. Russian gentleman showing me the whale marina here in Jomtien. Maybe 20 minutes from central Pattaya, right on the, I guess it's the Gulf of Jomtien or Gulf of Thailand. Maybe Bay of Jomtien and the Gulf of Thailand. I've always been interested in this place because it has marina slips. Now, this isn't the cleanest water right here. It's just a bunch of fishermen. If you see down at the end, there's a 26-foot sailboat. They're just these floating barges. Again, I probably won't do it, but I've always been interested in kind of Florida style, a condo that has its own boat slip and all. I'd much rather rent a boat, but there's not a lot of options. There's I think it's called the Ocean View Marina down off to the left. It's a little more just like a big huge California kind of marina with hundreds and hundreds of slips, and it's actually more than California. I'm trying to keep things simple in retirement, but I love being on the water. I know how to do it in California for cheap. Half my buddies were dock captains or dock masters of marinas, and probably had 5 or 6 boats over the years. And whenever I got the itch for a new boat, or a girlfriend or ex-wife took my house, I'd pick up another boat and go live on it. I'm wondering if this is a shortcut. Oops, tripping. I'm gonna guess this is a shortcut to the beach and the little string of bar areas. So yeah, I'd call up one of my buddies and say, hey, I'm looking for a whatever 32-foot sailboat. And they'd call me up with some kind of repossession. Hello. Oh, okay, there's Jimmy's. And this is the beach. Yeah, they'd call me up and basically, hey, you can have this boat. You know, it needs a couple of $1,000s of work, or something's wrong with the engine, but it turns over. I get a free sailboat, and they were happy to collect the $900 a month in slip fees or whatever it was. So it's not the beaches I'm used to with waves. I'd love to, not that I'm a great surfer, but I'd love to get out there and embarrass myself in the waves. But still, this would be fun to get out on the water on something like a little Catalina 30. Not a lot of California Catalinas over here, but you can find a big fancy marina. I don't want to get too sandy here. A big fancy marina had a bunch of French boats, Benetas and all. Let me see if I can see it. Yeah, I see a super yacht down there. Let me zoom in. So that, I believe, is I think it's called the Ocean View. Oh, they have some nice paddle boards, and this would actually be a nice spot to do some windsurfing. Although I've only did that a couple of times. And off in this direction, you can see the whatever we're going to call it, the round viewpoint building down at Jomtien, and then the Bali High Pier, and Pattaya is just on the other side. From here, zooming up Sukhumvit, 15-20 minutes, and you're in central Pattaya, which is a fun city, but to me it's a little bit like Las Vegas. I don't know if I could live there, but I could certainly be a half hour away and go visit whenever I wanted. There are just some affordable options with that water view. I know many people call it the beach, but unless there's a wave to surf, I'm not going to call it a beach. I'll call it a bay. And again, my retirement dream of having my own boat on my boat dock attached to my condo, it's probably going to be a little bit more difficult here than even, say, Florida, but it'll come at a fraction of the cost. Here's some beautiful balconies. That was a real helpful guy. I'm just, nobody coming in, nosing around. Hey, I heard about this whale marina condo. And he took me on a tour and was ready to bring me over here and show me all the bars and all. I go, nah, just point me in the direction. Jimmy's Surf Kitchen Bar and Rooms. A couple of expats in there having a nooner, maybe some lunch. Oh, another restaurant. Yeah, this is nice. I love Bangkok. And again, this is just thinking out loud, but it would be pretty nice to have a little getaway, even if it's just a studio. I'm at the Holiday Inn Express paying with tax and all. It's not unreasonable. I think about $45 US, but I'm going on day 4. That'll probably turn into day 5 or 6. You might as well just have I'll guess 15,000 baht studio at some of these places, maybe not right on the water, but inland just a bit. And there's the whale that I just came from. I think I'm still zoomed in here. Let me fix that. It's all about location. He started bringing up some rules I'd never heard as far as purchase. I'm no expert on this. There's plenty of YouTubers out there. I'm forgetting the guy. Ooh, is it Good Time Vibes? Something like that. Who all he does is YouTube Bangkok and Jomtien and different condos. Australian guy. I think it's something Good Vibes. But he's more an expert on it. I've watched him and gained a little bit of knowledge. I believe, and again, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, there are foreign owned or licensed condos and Thai, and the buildings can have so many foreign. Don't know what the number is. Let's guess it's 20% and 80% Thai, something along those lines. Again, just a guess. But he said a foreigner can come in and put, if buying 50%, I think he told me 50% down, and you have 1 year to pay the other 50%. So if you're buying a condo, and again, I'm totally making up these numbers, 10 million baht, you would pay 5 million to move in, and you had 1 year to pay the additional 5. That's not too tricky. And a foreigner, I believe a Thai, I believe he said had, it's either 2 years or 3 years. Same deal. Put half down, and there you go. That's a NACRA, N-A-C-R-A, Australian, what I'd call a Hobie cat. My ex-wife actually worked at Hobie Cat in Oceanside in the admin. Yeah, I remember her asking me when I was in the Navy, where is Diego Garcia? And it's a little speck of island in the middle. Oh, there's some windsurfers off in the distance there. Yeah, it's just a little island, and being here in Bangkok, I've actually ran into a couple of new buddies that were stationed on Diego Garcia. A lot of military happening there, and a nice long runway. But she shipped a couple of those Hobie cats to the welfare and rec. Another buddy of mine I was in the Navy with, he was stationed there, radioman, and he told me everything was near free. I think he learned how to scuba dive there. They did their best to pass out plenty of recreation opportunities on a small island. You could probably walk around in no time. Definitely a mellow vibe compared to hustling, bustling Bangkok, which I love. And I'm not looking to make the big escape from, but who knows what the future holds. I stopped trying to predict my life a long time ago. For now, I'm living in Bangkok, and who knows where I'll be living down the way. Let me go look over here. So this is the This is the channel over here to get to the bay to go back to that whale marina. There's also a Jomtien Yacht Club, I believe it's called. But talking to Costa, Russian gentleman, he was telling me they're just homes, pretty expensive and about 25 years old. And with a name like Jomtien Yacht Club, I'm sure you pay a yacht club dues a year. It's probably nothing like San Diego Yacht Club. I think that was, I think it was $25,000 to join. And it was crazy, like $5,000 a month maintenance fees, and then you did get reduced boat fees. The average marina was 10 or 12 bucks a foot, maybe more if you were like in downtown San Diego. But at San Diego Yacht Club, if you could get a slip, it was oftentimes a waiting list for the more desirable, say 35 or 45 foot slips. But if you could get one, $5 a foot. Again, maybe it's twice as much now. I didn't play around with those kind of fees for years and years. Had a couple of nice meals at San Diego Yacht Club, but never kept a boat there. This was more the style of many of the free boats I received. So that's the whale. I think it's Whale Marina Condo. I don't know. But this is the little channel. A lot of local fishing boats. Looks like a nice little restaurant. Now, it would be difficult to get from that building over to that restaurant I just walked by. And what is that, another Riviera? I'm familiar with the Riviera down in Jomtien, but maybe there's a second up here, not Jomtien. Yeah, I like it down here. Nice little quieter, more mellow getaway. Being on the water is it's therapeutic. I love to dive. I just went whatever it was, about 45 minutes down to, I always say it wrong, Utapao Airport, and we went off to the Marine Park. 100 baht fee. I went with no limits divers out of Pattaya. Nico, good guy. International team of dive masters. Some really sharp Thai ladies were dive masters. My guy was from the UK, Jake. Nico's French. There was a German dive master. Good team of people. A Canadian lady. Kind of windy today. Anytime I catch this wind, I'm dreaming about being on my sailboat, or a sailboat. I'm sorry if that wind is messing up the sound. I am on flip-flop power, but I can't, unless I want to swim across, I can't easily get over there, and I didn't see any type of bridge, so I'm going to walk back the way I came in, and at least it shouldn't be, well, no, because where the whale condos is, the water goes all the way around. So I might have to walk out more towards Sukhumvit to duck back into this little neighborhood. So we'll see. I'm gonna go up this way, and I'm not gonna walk as far as the other marina down where those people are kite surfing. That is that big, huge marina. And if you've kind of zoomed through this area on Sukhumvit, we're not far from the floating market that had a fire, but it appeared to be up and going when I zipped by heading diving the other day. And there's now a tiger park. I think I saw a snake show there not that far ago. So that's kind of where we're at. Jomtien. Let's walk on down the way. That large building off in the distance, I believe that's getting closer to the larger marina. Ocean something or another. I'll try to throw up on the screen here. It's really the only large marina around, other than squeezing in with some of these local boats. There's another big beautiful marina outside of Hua Hin. I think more going towards Prachuap Khiri Khan, I think. I went and saw. And another big beautiful marina in Phuket. But those fees, just taking a rough look, not that I need to stick a $500,000 sailboat in one of those marinas, that's about the last thing I'd do. Those rates were just as expensive as any marina I've seen in California. And it kind of stands to reason. All this gear, it's pretty specialized. I'd guess most of the things here come from Australia, and there's going to be customs and tariffs and on and on. Again, living in California, I was lucky. All the not all, there were so many manufacturers. Catalina, Coronado, what was that last boat I had? I'm drawing a blank. It's 32 foot. Why is that name escaping me? Anyhow, all those boats were made right there in Southern California back in the late 60s and 70s, when you could actually do business in California, like fiberglass work and all, without the government really getting on your case. But there are just so many hundreds of those boats, maybe thousands, laying around Southern California that you can get a 1969 30 foot whatever for, well, in my case I could get it free 9 out of 10 times. But even finding one that somebody loved and cared for and swapped out the old gas engine, put a diesel engine in there, you might pick it up for $5,000 or $6,000. And then your main expense is going to be keeping that thing floating. You got to pull it out of the water and paint the bottom. You're supposed to do it every year. I did it maybe every 3 years, but I had a team of guys that would clean the bottom of the boat, even when the anti-fouling paint wasn't really doing its job, and that was cleaner than hauling it out all the time. Again, these were free boats. Well, I wasn't babying it, but that same old boat, if you were to find it over here, I'm sure it would be 5 or 10 times the cost. Not that many of those older kind of non-cruising California boats are gonna make it over here. I don't think too many were put on large boats and brought over here. Maybe some from Australia. But a real interesting area. And this is the water's edge. Units for sale, rent, inquire at the office. And it's 50 feet from the water. And some fresh grilled shrimp they're cooking up. Somebody's private home. Hey. And this would be Boone Spot, Sashimi Pattaya Beach. She likes everything sashimi style, from her fish to her shrimp. Sea Falcon. I'm assuming that's a little hotel. Mailboxes for rent. Huh, they have a Hobie cat. I see the sticker. A Hobie 17. So those would be fun too. I never spent a lot of time with the Hobie cats. I flipped them a couple of times. But maybe that's on me having too much sail up. Yep, Sea Falcon Hotel and Restaurant. There's Jimmy's again. Surf kitchen, bar and rooms. Yeah, zooming around on a Hobie cat. Maybe I'm gonna have to change my thinking. I like at least like a little 25-foot boat that you can pull in somewhere and catch a couple of winks on, even if it's at anchor. You're not going to do that on a Hobie cat. But maybe that's just not going to be realistic in Thailand. And you can launch that Hobie cat right here off the beach, and I'd guess it's blowing about 15 knots. You'd really get flying. And I don't see a sign, but that looks like a kite surfing shop right there. Maybe they set up down on the beach. And that's where they keep everything. Cheesecake. Wagyu beef hamburgers. Drifters Cafe. Closed every Monday on the slow season, I guess. Definitely an island feel, like Samui. It's in Thai, but I see 500, so perhaps it's 500 baht at times. Kebabs, pizza, little store. Here's another little bar, cocktails, pina coladas. Called the Fisherman Garden. And when I came over with my Bolt, he accidentally came up this road, and then we had to go back over to the Whale over there. So I'll call this the main road. I slipped from the Condo. I just kind of guessed if I went up alongside that bar, I would pop out on the beach road, and I did. Oh, that guy's flying out there kite surfing. Yeah, maybe I'd have to give that a try. Tried it once or twice in San Diego, and it was difficult. You had to get out past the surf zone. But now that I have nothing but time and there's no surf zone here. Plus in San Diego, when there's not waves, and there's always waves, there's swells. So you're out kite surfing and you could be in 5 or 10 foot swells. It's windy. It's not white cappy, but it doesn't look unmanageable. So this is the main road to get out towards Sukhumvit. This kind of seems like a private area. I'm going to walk through here because it looks like it connects down to that building. I'll apologize later if I'm wrong. Huh. Little beach bar. Let me talk over this music. I sure don't recognize it, but that could be the latest German techno disco beat. So that's the pool right there. It says Alexa Beach. Looks like they have a stage set up right on the sand. Nice. Again, I don't know this music, but if it's Electric Callboy or some thumping group, the only reason I said Electric Callboy, I watch Tank the Tech. He has a nice YouTube channel. He's a roadie, kind of a heavy metal guy, but he's the tour manager for the German group Electric Callboy. He'd probably call them metal, but it's kind of like a metal techno sound to me. Another beautiful building. Him, his wife, and I think their little girl are moving to Germany. So things are working out great for him with that band. I have a lot of friends, well, 2 or 3 friends that work going on the road with bands and acts. Hey, it's a living. If you go on the road with the Cinderella Ice Capades, that still pays the bills. Or your next tour might be with Guns N' Roses. There's not too many roadies that, maybe the more senior guys can pick and choose with the larger companies, but for the most part, the people I knew, whoever needs their pyrotechnic skills, they're available for hire. That's a country act or a little kid show. Here's a nice little smallish, I guess you could do some small laps on it, right on the water. It's just so quiet down here. Again, it's low season, but Just comparing things to the hustle and bustle of Sukhumvit. I've always liked this Jomtien. It's funny though, I've seen more than a couple YouTubers race straight down here and buy a place, and then they end up in Bangkok. So maybe it'd be a little too slow. 24/7. Nice wine selection. But yeah, I'm always on the go traveling anyhow, and again, if I were lucky enough to have two places, and I'm not in that big a hurry, maybe rent a place down here for a while, even at a higher price, like an Airbnb for a month, and then come down for a couple of weeks, go home, and maybe come back a couple of weekends. See how that goes. More music here. And this is the glass house. A couple of customers up there. They look Japanese, maybe Chinese. Having a cocktail. Here come some fries. But I think I'm running out of resort here. A bunch of people over there. So I'm gonna talk over this music, head towards the sand, and see if I can keep walking down. Yeah, it looks like I can. And getting our boundaries. That's the inlet down there to head over to the whale house and all. And I've just kind of walked down the road here, but I'm getting into. I guess it was a parking lot I could have cut through. Let me head on down there. It looks like the banana boat and some different touristy things, but they have the kite surfers launching out of there. There's a bunch of them out on the water now. Sure, you could get some instruction. Well, there's windsurfers and kite surfers. I might have mixed those two up earlier. The one's like a big parachute and you're on something the size of a snowboard. I was down in Mexico. I have tried it a couple of times. Way down on the East Cape. About 30 miles from Cabo San Lucas. They hold the kite surfing world championships down there. It's just so windy on the edge of Baja California. Some of the best fishing in the world. If you want to go catch a marlin, you can launch off a beach like this and head out a mile, and it's not easy to catch a marlin, but some of those Mexican fishing guides, they'll give it your best shot. I hooked up on a marlin once. We even saw it jump and I lost it, but then I probably caught 15 Dorado that trip. Good eating. Dorado, if you're in Hawaii, mahi, same thing. Delicious fish. And another resort. A lot of people here. Looks like a group of 10 or 15 sitting up there eating or having a little business meeting. Hey, but I like it like this. A lot of people are like, the slow season, nobody's around. I don't know what you want to be out here sitting with 100 people and little kids screaming and running. That's cool and all, but I don't mind having this whole resort to myself. I don't see the name of this one. I'm not going to walk all the way back there. More making my way down here. There's another catamaran, Obi Cat, Narca, whatever it is. Looks like a 14-footer. Some kayaks and paddle boards tucked away. These look like all Thai folks hanging out. This is a big getaway from the big city. All right, this guy's more my style. He's on his knees. I'm just trying to get some momentum. Or maybe he's just coming in that way nice and easy. I guess you don't want to come racing in full speed to the beach. Oh, but down in Mexico. Okay, yeah, there he is. I did that, the hydrofoil. I don't know if you can see it. He's coming up and out of the water a foot or so. And that was difficult. This is Tutu Beach. These are all resorts. Nothing. I see some apartments and condos tucked away back there. Maybe I'll go down just a little ways further and then go inland. Your best value is going to be a block in or so from the beach. And if you're on anything over the, I don't know, 8th floor, you're still going to have a water view if that's what you choose. Talking to what was his name, Costa. He told me on their building, the city view are all studios, so they're going to be the most affordable studio with a city view. Nothing wrong with that. And the larger 1-bedroom and 2 bedrooms, they're going to come at a premium, but have the water view. And this is small, but down in Mexico you have the, oh man, my memory is really going. Oh, the pangas. But you'll have the panga and the super panga. Even a regular panga I think is bigger than this. This one's full of rainwater, that's not good, but it's fiberglass. The super panga, oh man, sometimes those things can be over 30 foot, and they'll come with a huge 220 outboard. And those are the guys that'll take you fishing. Even marlin fishing. Nothing like pulling in a 7-8 foot marlin, which isn't light, on a fiberglass panga. Okay, I guess I'm dedicated now. Let me walk on down there to the point. And it looks like they have a little rescue boat. Somebody's struggling there. Sails in the water, and I assume once that sail or kite gets full of water, it's more difficult to get up and going. I did my share of falling down, but I never got that kite completely soaked. There's another Hobie. Reminds me of home. I grew up in Oceanside, about, 35 miles from San Diego. And I'd ride my dirt bike back in the day when you can just take off out of your house, and the neighbors were cool if you just kind of went 5 miles an hour down the street and then zipped off behind the houses and go have a great time. And the Hobie Cat factory used to be right there on Oceanside Boulevard. It's solid houses now, but back in the day we had some nice little 1 mile track set up. It was great. And this is Dojo, D-O-J-O. Hi, D-O-J-O. Yeah, selfishly I say it's nice to sit there and have it all to myself, but I know that's not good for business. I want these folks to make some money. These are all Hobies. Huh, that one has a little, whatever it is, 2 horsepower engine. A Hobie Wave. Never seen that. It's small. Oh, some little campers here, huh? When I think of Thailand, camping's not the first thing that comes to mind, and I don't see, unless I'm missing it, air conditioners on those. I think those are those super vents. So that would be my first choice around Thailand. Although with this bay breeze, it feels great. It's probably still in the high 70s, but it feels really nice. Now this building, is it CB Media, Chad? I think he stayed in, those balconies look very familiar. It's a couple of years ago. Watch his channel if you're into different race cars around Thailand and all. He's the man, but I just watched everybody. Probably folks that are watching my channel are sitting back in their respective country and just soaking up everything they can about moving over. So hopefully it's helping somebody to just see the sights. Oh, and sorry, I know it's getting super windy, but there you go. That's the hydrofoil. And that, oh, I'm stepping on the rope here, and that is the kite sail. This is a little more difficult. The wind normally comes towards the beach, but there you go. He's doing a great job. So it's just like sailing. You got to tack into the wind. You can't go straight into the wind. So the wind's coming in. It's like a sailboat. You go this way, then you go that way, and then you go that way. You could blow straight back into the beach. But most people want to go sideways to the wind. Okay, this guy's a pro. And I'm guessing that is one rich Thai person's beautiful residence. Right next to that very nice building. And I'll almost guess there's a access road just ahead with all kinds of little restaurants and bars. I keep saying it, but I'm gonna make a left turn and head over there soon. I'm tempted to give that a try. I'm still a little tired. Did 3 dives, including I think we went down to about 100 feet on this newish Thai Navy shipwreck. So I can dive in 50, 60 feet all day long with those little bit deeper dives. They get me tired. Maybe it's psychological, or maybe just doing the 3 dives. Probably it's on 59. You're not supposed to be doing 3 dives. I did 3 with all the younger guys, and the smarter 60-year-olds just did 1 or 2 dives. And I'm not waking up early and getting on the dive boat just to do 1 dive. People make fun of me for saying it, but I love a nice balcony. And I can't imagine turning my air conditioner on anytime soon with this really strong breeze. Now it is whatever, 1:30 in the afternoon. I'm not sure how the breezes work here in San Diego. 0 breeze till about 11:30 noon. And then the breeze would die off at 6 p.m. Breeze, wind. But then you go up to San Francisco and it's just howling on San Diego Bay most of the time, even in the evening. There's a nice beach bar servicing that large building, no doubt, and its customers. And it looks like I'm coming up to now, I was going to say, is this a little boat inlet? It might be. Here's a guy about my age, getting his foil ready to go out. Kiteboarding, Amara, water sports. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get through here unless I want to get wet. So this might be a good time to head inland. I don't know what this is, like a rain drainage area maybe, or maybe some smaller boats come zooming through here on the higher tide. Somewhere in the back of my mind I was thinking I might make it down to the other marina, but that's still another mile. So I will do that another day. I see some mega yachts down there. Plenty of masts sticking up. And then as you go down the way, I think that's Banks Array down there, I think. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I think it is 20 miles away. Not positive. And most places at the beach will have this little area. Get the sand off your feet and keep them out of the restaurant. So it's about 10 till 2. I'm gonna pull in here and get something cool to drink. A little bite to eat. Yeah, I could go down to one of the smaller stands. That's fine. Sit right here, and I'm sure I'm gonna pay 180 baht instead of 80 baht, but this is a 100 baht view for sure. And I think appropriately named the View Restaurant and Bar. So they have music on the weekends, no doubt. And I just looked up the weather. You know how accurate that is, but it says it's 88 degrees. I would have said it was 72 degrees all day long. No way this feels like a Bangkok 88. Not that there's many of those. Maybe at 7, 8 at night. I have to regain my Baja skills to hit the chili pepper in the wind. It looks like they have a nice pizza oven. The View Mart Beachfront Restaurant. Delicious, 165 baht. Oh, here's a little trailer park. All right. You want to stay in a little trailer right on the beach, right next door. Or maybe it's part of this place. All kinds of interesting little spots. I was 160. Here's a kite school. I just got a pad thai chicken. Boone makes fun of me. I love my pad thai. I know it's kind of more a U.S. thing or Farang thing than here in Thailand. It's all about the pad krapao, or in her case, Jomtien. But she likes a pad thai once in a while. But 160 with a Coke. So listen, I thought you can see all the kite boards and ready for the high season. Yeah, I'm gonna wander out this way and I don't know, make my way back towards Sukhumvit. I might call another bolt car or jump on a Sangtao Beach House Camp Patio. That's the those little trailers. This must be reception. And I walk down the beach. Open 11 a.m. until midnight, where I just came from. All kinds of gear in there. Sure, they'll carry it down to the water if you want to rent it. Now, these are probably some pretty expensive townhomes. 2-car garages. This looks like a whole community of them. I'll walk over to this B2. Yeah, I'm really liking this. Said it a bunch of times. It's not Jomtien. Of course, I'm not hard to please. I like Pradamak Hills over there. Jomtien's okay. It's a little, it's hustle and bustle, which I enjoy, or I wouldn't live in Bangkok. But if I'm gonna have a little bit of beach living, this is definitely Mellow. I love Koh Samui, but I don't know. I'm never say never. I don't know if I'd want to live there. It's still nirvana at the beach. It's still an island. Aren't even Oahu, where Honolulu is. You can get around. You can get around that whole island pretty quick. Nice little tennis court over here with the B2. I thought I saw B2 as a hotel, but this appears to be a condo. And this is definitely scooter country. Maybe I should have rented one to explore the area, but I'm okay on foot power. I don't know if anybody's living in this B2 right now. Looks pretty quiet. It just has some surface rust, which is par for the course, being so close to the saltwater. I came up to the main road here. I don't know what it's called. It's not Sukhumvit. These are all the businesses tucked away back there, and homes. And Amara Water Sports was that super large outfit. Here's a pretty basic looking operation. Nothing wrong with that if you're on a tight budget. Why not live in just a basic room 1 block from the beach? It says B2 something lodge. I'm gonna stick with it being a restaurant. I just see budget tucked away in the trees. I have a decision to make, but right over here I know is that little water thoroughfare. Just peek around the corner here. It looks like another hotel. Dust this place off. That'd make a nice home. The SS Jomtien. Sunset and Serenity. Somebody's beautiful house. Yeah, this is just going to go off to the left because that water is in between here and that other property. And that large tower, I forgot to mention the name, so let's go off in this direction. We'll probably cross in front of it. I think it was Ocean something or another, which is probably a pretty common name. Ocean something in the name. Boutique budget B2. All right. Look that up on Agoda. Having a room in, say, Bangkok and just a basic little room like this, if it's super affordable, you're still going to come out way ahead of renting hotels 3 and 4 days a month. I know that doesn't make too much sense having 2 places, but why not? Doesn't make any sense to own a bunch of boats, but I did that my whole life. Savo Bistro and Bar and the Sukhumvit Hotel. Now Sukhumvit's going to be off this way. And Sukhumvit travels a long way across Thailand. It's just not starting in Nana and ending in Bering. I know a lot of people are concerned about soy dogs. I've probably walked by 5 or 6 loose dogs just kicking back. Soy dog to me is, well, probably to everybody, it's a dog without an owner, and they just kind of run around in packs. And yeah, you don't want to get anywhere near those guys when they're sitting chewing on a piece of food they found. Might get a little aggressive, but 9 out of 10 dogs that are loose, they're going to be cool. I wouldn't go up and try to pet every dog you see, because who knows? They might not be used to strangers, but if I see a dog halfway down this road, I'm not going to stop and go in the other direction. It's like some kind of little resort tucked away back here. There's the parking lot, and there's the dog hanging out. It doesn't even look like he wants to leave his gate area. But I'm heading back towards that larger or largest building down here in the area. I've lived in a bunch of, well, not a bunch, but I've lived in some high rises now. I'm not in a big hurry to only live in a high rise. Nothing wrong with some of these 6 and 8 story buildings. This I'd be a little careful with. A couple of puppies and mama bear hanging back there. I wouldn't be going picking up those puppies anytime soon. Normal dog or not, probably any mother dog's gonna be upset at that point. Ah, shoot, it's over here. Well, sorry about that. For some reason, I thought I would be walking towards the entrance, but I think I'm kind of heading inland. So there are more choices just closer to the water, and it gets very slow right over here. Okay, this guy has a collar on, but he might come to say hello. No, I'm actually scaring him more than I'm scared of him. Hey, puppy. Terrifying soy dog. I did carry mail my whole life, so I'm not really afraid of dogs. I'll say less than 1% of them are going to cause you a problem. Okay, I walked past this down on the beach. I thought there would be more choices of some low-rise buildings just a little bit in from the beach. So in Jomtien 14-10/1. Sounds very military. And we saw all these walking down the beach. I think I'm going to go up and around the corner. If it's much of the same, it's pretty darn hot. So maybe I'll jump in a car. I sure lost that ocean breeze just being a half-mile inland. Or bay breeze. So I'm going to stick to my oceans needing waves, which I'm absolutely going to do. Some kind of cannery or something off to the right here has that distinct smell. And maybe it's not the greatest idea to be not on a motorbike. There are going to be some soy dogs. They might be living in these little wooded areas. Let me see what it looks like around the corner here. Let's at least walk down one more. I'd like to get on the other side of that whale house when I first started the video, but that little waterway was blocking me. Take a little peek at that neighborhood before I head back to Central Pattaya. 99% of the time I'm carrying a small backpack just with the umbrella and sunglasses, whatever I need. So if a dog were to come at me, and again, they're just kicking back, but if one got a little aggressive, just stick that backpack in its mouth. No different than carrying mail. I have stuck that mail bag in a few dogs' mouths, and that seemed to be good enough. They'll bite down on that bag and then run off in another direction. People ask me, I was only bit one time in 34 years. Those dogs don't bark, they just bite. The ones that bark and go crazy, they're just a lot of noise most of the time. The one that's gonna bite, you don't hear him coming. This one came flying through a screen window. Okay, well there's sukhumvit up at the end of this road. That thing would kind of bark at me every time I came up and delivered the mail. But the one time he bit me, I delivered the mail and I was walking away in the other direction, and there was a window with a screen, maybe very high, 6-7 feet high. He just came flying through that screen, chomped down on my hand, took off running through the neighborhood. But I don't think he was ever walked. Big dog too, and when I tell people it was a lab, that's even more crazy. There's not too many ferocious labs out there, but any dog will get mad if he's never walked. All right, let me at least step over to the other side, give this German Shepherd he hasn't seen me yet, a little bit of space. That's his owner right there. He's fine, doing his job and protecting the grounds. I think they're building some condos here. A little bit longer walk than I thought, because this road straight ahead, I believe, is the one we drove in on off of Sukhumvit to get to that, whatever it's called, Whale Marina condos. No, you know what? I'm not even close. So we're up to the Alexa Beach Club. I'm probably going to have to take a right, go down to Alexa and call a motorbike and zip around to the other side of that little waterway. Just have them zip me up to Sukhumvit and down the road. Or I can walk another, whatever it is, 2 or 3 miles. Walk's kind of been long enough, and I think I walked off my lunch at this point. I'm just gonna walk over to Sukhumvit, see if I see a Song Tower bot bus. Hi. Construction crew under the tree over there taking a break. Yeah, that guy probably thinks I'm crazy doing this walk, but it's half exercise, and well, that's all it really is. I could easily rented a scooter. Okay, it is hotter and hotter. This is the Monaco building. I gave up and just gave a guy 100 baht who's driving by. It's just a regular car, and he goes, "Oh, I am taxi." Okay, everybody's a taxi when knucklehead Frong's walking around in the middle of no place. So he jumped on Sukhumvit, took a left here at, I think it was Jomtien Soi 4. This is definitely more of the large resort buildings. I could probably cut through any of these if the guard will let me, and pop out right down on the beach. I'm seeing one foreigner after another come by on motorbikes. So we're still in Jomtien that I know of. If I walk down this way, we'd head towards Pattaya. I'm just gonna take a quick peek around the area and probably jump in a car, head on back towards the hotel, the Azure Restaurant and Lounge. La Royale. Yeah, I like the vibe of that, the Whale Marina, and I'd mentioned I'm not great with names. Good Time Vibes YouTube channel. He actually lived in that building. Maybe that's why it was stuck in the back of my head. And here's the Riviera. When I was down on the beach at the beginning of this video, I mentioned I'm pretty sure there's 2 Rivieras. All right, let's not wake these fellas up. But not even making a peep. There's a couple more over here. No avoiding it. Smart dogs, get out of the sun. It's definitely busier over here. Riviera Monaco. These big buildings are nice, but they just remind me of Vegas casinos. Similar to what I live in now. Yeah, it looks like I'm heading off into no man's land again. Over here's some coffee shops. Here's a Harley Davidson rental. All right, well, let's flip a U-turn. Nam Chalet condominium. Yeah, I was going to U-turn it, but let's see if we can get down to the beach without upsetting too many security guards, or get down to the water. There's a little car rental agency. It's at 400 and 500 baht a day. I assume these are rental cars. These Mazda 2s are okay. I had a Mazda 3 in the US. Nice little car. I think I might have to walk through somebody's private lot here. I just wanted to see. I'm sure it's the same as the other area I was in, with different little restaurants and bars. Probably even more so with these high-rise condos. And the water's tucked away back there a little further than I thought. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get through there. It's all gated off. But looks like they started some kind of construction site, and there's a big underground probably for parking. And let's gamble this will head down to the water. An old building. There are plenty of older choices that are going to be affordable, no doubt. But you'll just have to pick your spots on when you're hearing folks say, "Oh, I don't mind staying in an older building and paying less." They mean a 25-year-old building, not necessarily a building that looks like it's had very little maintenance. You're probably going to have electrical and water problems, and maybe critters running around, who knows. This doesn't exactly look like a public access road. But it's taking us to the water, and then I'll just have to cut through one of these properties and figure out my next move. Like I was saying earlier, these buildings are tucked back from the water, but anything above that, I don't know, 5th floor, you're still going to have a water view if you're facing in this direction. I don't know what happened over here. Maybe the pandemic took it out. They started a pretty major project that looks like it went nowhere. What's this? The pool area. That's sparkling blue. I think that was that Riviera Monaco building. Maybe another pool on the roof, or at least rooftop deck. No sense wasting those beautiful rooftops with this kind of view. It's the same in Bangkok. Not the building I'm in today, but I'll say 99% of the other buildings I've rented or Airbnb'd would have a pool on the roof, or if nothing else, a observation point. Okay, I'm sure hoping I can get through here without going through 2 feet of grass and whatever might be slithering around in there. And I might have blew it. There's some kind of business going on over here. I'm probably going to be disturbing, and I don't see an easy back beach access. Okay, the sun's starting to get to me. I'm mumbling. So I'm going to go back here. That was a waste of whatever that was, a 10-minute walk. There's the Riviera. Yeah, I've been out hiking around 3 or 4 hours now, and kind of the heat of the day, which I don't recommend, but I just have so many days over here. I'm not gonna waste any kicking back in the hotel just because it's hot. But out at some point, start getting a little crazy, or I do. And that point is about the 10-mile mark or the 3 or 4 hour mark. I'll start saying Jomtien Nua instead of not Jomtien, or making some kind of mistake and it sounds correct. And I'm not a fan of snakes over here, not that I've ran across a lot of them, but they don't give you that nice friendly rattle like they do in Southern California. They just spit at you. Maybe I watched too many episodes of Breaking Bad, but I don't like walking up abandoned roads to one car and what appears to be an abandoned building. I turn and make a U-turn just in case. And I will have to do like this guy sometime. He just did the same thing I did and spun around a U-turn. Just get on a bike and go up every little single side soy, just to have a look around. Hook the GoPro to the handlebars. And we're back in front of the Riviera and all the ferocious soy dogs. Yeah, I'll see different YouTubers, you gotta watch out for these soy dogs, and he's like pointing to that guy sitting there just staying cool. I'm not sure what's too ferocious about that poor little guy. Let's see what's around the corner here. I saw a little smaller tops market. And this is a property up here. Very tiny balconies. Well, there's a 7-Eleven. But a bunch of businesses and coffee shops. Plenty of scooter rental. There's a pharmacy. Another car rental and bikes. Yeah, be careful renting these bikes. I mean, certainly come and take a video. I'm sure 99% of the outfits are super honest people, even the car. Just common sense. Show them that you're taking a video of the car. I'll probably buy whatever insurance they're offering. I get it. I have all the credit cards too that are supposed to cover everything, but for an extra, whatever, 20 bucks on a 3-day rental, get their Thai insurance just so there's no issues. Although a couple of times when we've rented cars, they didn't even offer extra insurance. Boone said, no, it's included. But I don't know. I'm all about insurance. Veranda Resort, Pattaya Jomtien. And this is the road we just came in on off Sukhumvit. A little 7-Eleven right here. I am seeing a lot of Russian folks. That's no big secret in the Jomtien area, but they're just folks like everybody else that are here enjoying beautiful Thailand. I don't really care for some people get a little carried away with oh, Pattaya Jomtien, it's full of this or full of these people, and yeah, they're probably saying, oh, this area is full of people from the US and UK. Let's stay away. Most Russian folks, the guy who showed me around that whale, he's the manager, great guy. He went out of his way to walk me next door where you can keep your boat pulled out of the water. Again, I'm on a boat kick today, so he's like, let me show you around. Then he walked me over and showed me the little area with bars and restaurants. All right, looks like I'm having to walk quite a distance to either of these properties. This is going to be for another day when I get a bike. So thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go over here to the tops, and I could walk up to Sukhumvit and jump on a bot bus. I just passed 3 or 4 bot buses packed with students. I think I'm gonna treat myself a whole 160 baht and take a grab straight back to the hotel, take a shower, go have a couple San Miguel's. There's another ferocious dog. The smart dogs sit right in front of these businesses, so they get that blast air conditioning when somebody walks in or out. I think these folks are Russian. I just heard them speaking to one another. Again, just folks. So thanks again. I'm going to call up a car from this landmark, the tops, and head on back towards Central Pattaya. So we'll see you soon. I'll be back in Bangkok, walking around, exploring the streets, and hopefully you'll follow along. Have a good afternoon.